finding a good posture that feels good. How do you know the posture's good? Alert, bright, settled, at ease. And I recommend, for some of you that don't know to do that, let your belly out, undo your belt if you have a belt. At this point, you can check the nostrils. And feel, how does that feel? What's the feeling like in the mind, in awareness? So, I think some of you, so many of you know this, and those on Zoom who've been practicing for many years, and those in the room, that the preparation to calm abiding or tranquility meditation, or even for many practices, if you wish, of insightful looking, what you might call wisdom meditations, that are more towards that. It is really good to have a balance of breath energy, sensation. It's absolutely fundamental. It's critical. It goes so far by knowing how to do that. That's part of the ancient tradition. You know? If you look at the biographies of many, many great masters, Tibet, India, Burma, Thailand, they all have a rigorous training in some form of Hatha Yoga, or a Tibetan Hatha Yoga, or Qigong, or Tai Chi, whatever it is, and they're very, very good at it. Because how you feel inside the visceral world, yeah, is also how you feel in this envelope. So for good mind states, for good mental states, not for mind. Mind doesn't care. Mind doesn't care if you're healthy, happy, holy. Mind is awake. Mind is free. The ground is free all the time. But for the states to be able to come back home, the awareness to experience pristine awareness, one needs excellent clarity in the energy body, in the nervous system. And that nervous system is holding the karmic traces. If you want to know why I go, well, I meditate, how come this happens and that happens, and I still have similar things from year to year? That's because the habit patterns are not just held in the brain, but they're held throughout the body like a mirrored image. And unless those are actually purified, then every time you breathe, you are swayed by the way the nervous system is positioned, and that gives rise to different degrees of greed, hatred, delusion, or generosity, loving kindness, and clarity, wisdom. It's really straightforward. Once you can do that all day long, like that, and see it, you realize that shifting the breath, or becoming aware of breath and opening up the channels, is a much better opportunity to both have tranquility and for wisdom, insight. Okay, with that little preamble, let us turn our attention to a handout that you have, which is the practice of loving kindness, or metta, found in the text called The Path of Freedom. Does everybody heard about the Path of Freedom and heard me talk about the Path of Freedom? Very familiar with it? I know some here are. Anybody not? No? Oh my gosh. Go and get this book. I get a commission. No, I'm just kidding. This book, get this book. All right? This is an amazing text. This book, The Path of Freedom, available online, PDF, for free. All right? Or you can order it from Sri Lanka. Or something, or find a copy. At one time, I think it was very hard to find a copy. Do we find copies at? When was the last time we looked? It was like $600 for a copy. Didn't buy it, $600. I think I managed to buy one. I think it was for Laurel for $75. Yeah. Okay. Mind you, I think I got this one in Sri Lanka for $3. Okay. This text, just a very brief introduction, this text is about now 1900 years old. It is the great life manual for both bhikkhus and bhikkhunis, for monastics, as well as lay people. That's the first section. The second section is the oral tradition coming out of the Buddha's time of all the classic meditations, of what's called the 38 classic meditations. Later on it became 40. But in this text there's 38 classic meditations which every practitioner in India who's a Buddhist practitioner would be given one of these meditations or multiple meditations by their teacher. The third section, Sila, Samadhi, and Panya, the third section is called the wisdom section, what we call today Vipassana, is how do you bring about the liberative mind. So it's all here in great detail and elegantly written. And this is an excellent translation. There are a few words missing because there's a few words missing in the text. Yeah, very ancient text. So I happen to, pardon the pun, love this text and have used it for, since Namjin Rinpoche suggested one day, I think I was maybe 18 or something, he just said, when he was after teaching, he said to me, this is it. Just work your way through this bit by bit and learn it. This is the great manual, and so ever since I have, I usually take it almost everywhere I go. There are absolute gems found all the way through, and especially in this immeasurable thought of loving kindness. This is the oral tradition, right, from the Buddha's time, and taught by an arhat, by an enlightened being. That's why it's called, the author is called the Arhat Upatissa. Likely an Indian practitioner visiting Sri Lanka at the time. So it starts out on page 181, the measurable thought of metta. And as it does throughout the text, it asks questions, and those questions are really worthwhile, and trying it on yourself. What is loving kindness? Because sometimes we just go, oh, loving kindness. But here, what is metta? What is the practicing of it? What is its salient characteristic, function, and manifestation? What are its benefits? What is the procedure? Isn't that a lovely way to just outline it? And, okay, here we go. As parents, on seeing their dear and only child arouse thoughts of loving kindness and benevolence towards that child, so one arouses thoughts of loving kindness, or metta, and benevolence towards all beings. So beautifully put. So, can you have that feeling without having a child? Yes, actually. Yeah, of course. Thus is loving kindness to be known. The undisturbed, everything is a direct instruction. There's no wasted words, as is typical of ancient texts. Not one single wasted, superfluous word. And you may not believe me or even trust me on this point, but my experience after practicing and studying for almost 50 years now, is about 50 years, it's absolutely dead on. It's on. Go into retreat and see, and you go, aha, exactly so. The undisturbed, or the continuum dwelling of the mind in this practice, is called the practice of it. Now it tells you exactly what you need to do. When we start out to ride a bicycle, either with training wheels or no training wheels, we have to take short little episodes where we fall off, we crash occasionally, we tip over, we get back on, we do it again and again, just like with our legs, right? Just like we're doing here. Try it again and again, and maybe in 2 or 3 days, well, that's when you're 60. Okay, but when you're 7 or 8, it's usually in 24 hours or less. You get the hang of things. Okay, but when you get to 50 or 60, it's now a full 24 hours to 2 hours, and then it goes to 3 days. So I'm at about 3 days right now. I can just feel that sometimes when I'm learning something. It's quite something. 3 days, I go, yeah, it's clicked in. I don't know if that happens to the elders over there.
More like 8 days.
More like 8 days. And if you know that, you can actually feel it, right? As you get older, it's not that you can't learn, it just takes longer to bring that into operational mode. Do you know what I mean? Whereas somebody in their 20s or teens goes, oh yeah, got it. You go, wow. Yeah. And that is why there are recorded histories of beings in their 80s who become fully liberated, starting at 80 years old. I think I want to become enlightened. It took them a little bit longer, but they lived to a ripe old age, and actually they did really well. I've seen people start way, late in their life, and they do really well. They're not also wasting a lot of time. Just on about it. Okay. So, undisturbed dwelling. That's the key. That's why we do retreats. When you're in the city or your daily life, one can have it broken up all day long, right? Or you live in a place perhaps like Bali, right? Roosters, cars, diesel engines, that sort of thing. Yeah. Whereas here, Raphael's been saying, my God, it's quiet here. So it has been found, I love reading studies. This has been found, I don't know if you know this, but people living near train stations and highways sleep all night. Anybody sleep all night and near a roadway? Guess what? You don't sleep all night. So when you use EEG and so on, you actually track the brain, you see that the person is actually waking up all night long, living near noise. They think they're sleeping, but actually their sleeping is disturbed. So we want the undisturbed, abiding dwelling of the mind in the practice, which means gradually, without torturing yourself, without beating yourself up, without falling over because you're pushing too hard, gradually, every day, longer sessions, deeper sessions, a little bit, 20 minutes, and then 30 minutes, and then 40 minutes, so it becomes stretched out, and you go, gosh, I feel really good. And there'll be days, are there days and hours where it doesn't? Absolutely. It's normal. Okay. To cause the arising of benevolence, doing good for beings, is its salient characteristic. Benevolence. Good, the good. Beautiful. The thought of loving kindness, thought of metta, is its function. Non-hatred is its manifestation. If a man or woman practices metta, he or she is benefited in 11 ways thus. Happily, he or she sleeps, maybe not every night, but generally, especially in a quiet place, they do. Happily, he or she awakes. He or she does not see bad dreams. The dreams get better. That's a good sign. Good sign of spiritual growth is overall, not all the time, overall, gradually, dreams get more about loving kindness, more about helping beings. Occasionally you get a really disturbing dream because material gets stirred up and you go, gosh, I haven't had a dream like that for a long time. That's a good sign. Yeah. He or she is dear to humans. He or she is dear to non-humans. Yeah, for instance, maybe a sign of loving kindness is, here's the difference. Before, if a mosquito's going by like this and, like this, you might previously have gone like this, right, or like that. But in the retreat or post-retreat, you might notice that it's a little bit different, which is like this. You see, as they do in Australia all the time. So, like this, all the time, like that. You see? And then you may find it's like this. Oh, hello. Maybe not in a malarial or dengue fever zone, but just go, oh, hello, how are you? Go, goodbye. Thank you. And if you've got a very quick hand and you've got very good hand-eye coordination, it's like this. Hello, how are you doing? Thank you very much. Out you go. Okay. Deities protect him. Fire, poison, sword, and stick come not near him. Sometimes. He or she concentrates his mind or her mind quickly. So if you are a really good practitioner of metta, then you get faster and faster entering into samadhi, into a natural continuum of concentration. Yeah, for sure. For sure. It's actually a foundation. One needs that. And of course, in the East, one of the tests by teachers traditionally is, can you enter into the samadhi in 3 breaths, no more than 3 breaths, into upachara samadhi, maybe even to jhana. That is considered a standard. So that is done. You have to have a basis of loving kindness for that. The color of his or her face is pleasingly bright. All of you in the retreat, if you practice and you study and practice, your physiology will change. It's physiological. If it's not physiological, it's not happening. I get to see that. Others get to see that. I just absolutely really enjoy seeing people in retreat, and I go, look at that. You can actually, if they can't even see it, oh, Lama, I'm having a rough time. Yeah, but you look beatific. Because your inner physiology is showing it. Yeah, but I had a bad dream, and I'm really worried about this, and it wasn't the greatest night, or it wasn't the best meditation, but all I need to do is just look at the physiology shining through and go, forget it, you're fine. Don't worry about it. Oh yeah, well, yes, you had one meditation a day that didn't feel good, you're okay, fine. But you can actually see it right away in the carriage of the body, in the eyes, in the face, everything shows it, even the way the hand moves. It's beautiful. Yeah. Pleasingly bright, pink, little pink. At the time of death, he or she is not bewildered. Your mind is steady. If he or she attains not the sublime state, that means not liberation or some level of liberation. They're talking about this sublime state means arahata. That means no more subject to being reborn, but otherwise one is born in the world of Brahma, in a heavenly realm. Yeah, okay. Now, this is really important to contemplate. This is extraordinary here. On page 182, the disadvantages of anger and resentment, of what's called in Pali, for those who know, the word is dosa. And dosa is the word for anger. Dosa. What is the procedure? The new yogin, that is someone new to this practice, who aspires to practice metta, should at first reflect on the disadvantages of anger and resentment, and on the advantages of patience, and bear patience in mind. So here you got a clue to what's going to happen. Loving kindness, or metta, is the practice to bring about patience. The amount of patience that you have, not necessarily dogged determination, kind of a natural patience to take something on and keep working on it, to stay with it, to handle something that's happening slowly. Now that might just be dumb, but that's another issue altogether. But the ability to be bright and engaged in things that take time to happen or unfold is patience. To the degree that you can do that is a degree to which anger and frustration is being eliminated out of your nervous system. Not just tranquility, how much is actually being liberated out of your nervous system. So this is a very important point. Please take it to heart. What is meant by, quote, should at first reflect on the disadvantages of anger or on dosa, resentment. If a man or woman arouses anger and resentment, his or her thoughts of metta will be consumed by his or her mind and will become impure, tainted, like you'd put dye into a fabric, or you'd poison water, or you'd stir up mud, that kind of thing. Thereafter, now it says he, so women don't have this experience, but thereafter he will frown. Thereafter he will utter harsh words. Yeah, maybe say something, maybe send off an email. Oh, I didn't mean that. Suddenly you write an email and you push the button. Oh my God. Or later on somebody, what kind of tone was that? Yeah. Thereafter, he will stare in the four directions. That's bewilderment and constant distraction. Thereafter, he will lay hold of a stick and sword. Today, guns, tanks, bazookas, various things. Or it might actually be, today, what would it be? Doesn't have to be a gun, doesn't have to be a stick or a sword. What would it might be?
Twitter.
Pardon? Twitter, yep.
Cell phone.
Cell phone.
A drone. A drone.
A drone, what else? Social media. Yeah, all kinds of things. Powerful weapons today. Powerful ways of hurt. Ways of hurting. Okay, then immediately after that, thereafter he will convulse with rage and spit blood. That means in a full-blown rage. Full-blown rage. There have people who have killed each other, killed other people when they've gotten into a rage. You know that, right? Husband and wife, partners, children, kids, other kids, kill them. Spitting blood, I don't know of that, but it's quite possible. Biting lip and actually drawing blood. Sure. Thereafter, he or she will hurl valuables hither and thither, smash things. Anybody, don't have to put your hand up, anybody know of that occurring? Pots and pans, ancient Chinese vases going flying, books, kicking your socks or your underwear around or your pants, tearing up the bedroom. Who knows? Sure. Kicking over the motorcycle or kicking the tire. Well, whatever it is. Yeah. Smashing dishes. Smashing up a kitchen. The words of Namj Rinpoche from his bedroom. Wait. Stop killing the kitchen! He had very good hearing for a while. Near the later days, you could actually do a little more noise, but he had a very sensitive hearing. Okay, thereafter, he or she will kill others or kill himself. And again, if a man or woman is angry and resentful, always he or she, owing to their wicked mind, is liable to kill his parents, to kill a consummate one, that is, an enlightened being, or cause a schism in the community of the monastics, or draw blood from the body of an enlightened one. These are known as the 5 inexplicable acts that create tremendous karmic consequences. Such fearful acts is he liable to do. Thus should one reflect. So this is the progression of more and more rage and how it actually manifests. Yeah? Worth reflecting on your life, reflecting on the life of other beings and going, yeah, it actually can get progressive as it gets stoked up and stored in the nervous system. It can get worse and worse and worse. Then there is the simile of the saw, which it just refers to it here. And again, one should reflect thus. I am called a hearer. I am a wanderer. I'm searching for liberation. Here it is saying that you're likely a monastic, which means beings are supporting you. They're actually giving you donations to wander, study Dharma, practice Dharma, and set an example, and have a pure mind, a pure heart. So it's saying you're setting an example. I am a hearer of the Dharma. I listen to the Dharma. I practice the Dharma. I shall be put to shame if I have anger, if I have ill will. If I do not remove, now it's not just quench, not just push down a bit, but remove anger and resentment. And then it says, I remember the simile of the saw. And the simile of the saw is quite amazing. It's not in here. But the simile of the saw is quite amazing. And it's the Buddha describing the level of equanimity that one can attain to if you really follow the teachings and practice of Dharma. So he says, just a short summary here, he says, even if bandits were to carve you up savagely, limb by limb, with a 2-handed saw, he among you who let his heart get angered even at that would not be doing my bidding. And I'm not keen on doing my bidding. Would be my instructions or my the way I say it, the results of good practice. Even then, you should train yourselves. Quote, our minds will be unaffected, and we will say no to evil words, to really bad words. We remain sympathetic, with a mind of goodwill, and with no inner hate. We'll keep pervading these people with an awareness imbued with goodwill, and beginning with them, we'll keep pervading the all-encompassing world with an awareness imbued with goodwill, abundant, expansive, immeasurable, free from hostility, and free from ill will. That is how you should train yourselves. It's quite something, isn't it? Mm-hmm. Can it be done? Yes, many examples of it being done. Then it says, I like to enjoy good states of mind. So this is how metta comes about. A decision that I would prefer to have good states than build unwholesome states. Doesn't that sound really simple? But it's really hard for people. Anybody therapists in the room? What would you say? It's hard for people to do? Is that correct? Is that a fair statement? Yeah. Is it a fair statement? Yeah. And do you have to deal with those sort of things? Like, it would be really good if you concentrated on the good states and not so much on the negative states? Is that about right?
Yeah.
And help them to build that capacity? Yeah.
And myself too.
Oh, no. It sounds so simple, but actually, this is an amazing practice text. Can you, day by day, week by week, learn by discernment? By really good discernment. This is good. This is not good. This is great. You think, oh, is this meditation? Yes, it is. It's meditation. And then do you enjoy good states? Can you discern and go, this is a good state? Can you feel others? This is a good state. I like to be around good states. I'm actually now in my life avoiding and staying away from people, place, and things that are actually bad states because I want to cultivate the good. Yeah.
How do you do it, let's say with my children or with people I care about? I don't want to minimize people's experience of, let's say, a child is angry, a child is upset, the child is rageful, and I don't want to indulge it. But I don't want to raise a child that says my parents didn't give me space to feel these feelings.
It's impossible.
Well, you see, at least
No, it's not impossible.
The current
but
Western parental narrative.
Yeah, and if you go to another country, they're going to tell you you're parenting completely wrong. You want to figure this one out?
I'm noticing it.
Yeah.
No, I'm noticing my own discrepancy as a parent to say, this is bullshit, this is not something I want to indulge, and not, I hear my clients 30 years later saying my father wasn't supportive, he died and my mom wasn't hearing me, all that stuff.
And if you talk to their brother or sister, they'll say, God, my parents were so supportive, they were just so fantastic. I've heard that. What are you talking about? They're the most amazing parents. No, they dumped on me all the time. They're just awful. Never supported, nothing. What? What family did you grow up in? Have you heard that? What can you do? See, you're all asking the same thing. I know. I can feel it. It's not just that. It's like, okay, I have this situation. What can I do? I have that situation. What can I do? Okay, this person's got rage or this kid's got rage. What am I going to do? So you got to follow a formula book, don't you? You've got a huge manual, right, of rules for the parent, right? Today, right? Rules for the parent, how to act appropriately in the last 10 years or 5 years. And then you've got how to have really good interactions in your relationship and everything else, right? Well, wouldn't it be simpler, besides learning some really good guidelines, right, that work? Wouldn't it be simpler to just meet that from a really good place? And even if you feel it doesn't work, you've met that being that child in a really good space, in your good space. And even if they don't say today, boy, I like that, they may 5 years or 10 years later and go, that was pretty amazing. Because how are you going to figure it all out? What rule book are you going to follow? Which cultural rule book? Which one in history? Is the one now the answer? Do you think we now know how to do it? Do you think now we have the method for raising children? It's all kind of sewn up and we have it. And by the way, relationships. Do you think so? What do you think? It's all done? All wrapped up? Yeah, okay. So whoever's got the biggest podcast and the best-selling book, they've got it, right? It's really insane. So growing children, how do you grow children? What do? Love them.
Yep.
Try to learn how to help them and be wise, and sometimes you can't do much, and sometimes you're there for them, sometimes they'll talk to you, sometimes they don't want to have anything to do with you. And the same with your partner, same with your spouse, right? Is that right? What do? You have to have purity. Even if they think you're completely crazy, come from a place of purity. Come from what three places would you like to come to in every situation? Even if you have to lock somebody up in jail or cart them away. Generosity, loving kindness and compassion, and wisdom. And grow the wisdom through experience. Grow the natural, spontaneous wisdom by revealing it. Build loving kindness and compassion, not just loving kindness. And tons of generosity. Then it comes out. Because trying to figure it out is going to make you insane. There are some principles, sure. And some of those principles are excellent within a certain culture at a certain time. So, good luck. If now I arouse anger and resentment, I shall be like a man or woman desirous of taking a bath, entering into a cesspool. Has anybody ever done that? Oh, I kind of didn't do the right thing. I'm in a cesspool. Now I've got to climb my way out. And they're not talking about your bath at home, are they?
No.
No, they're talking about taking a bath in a cesspool of emotional turmoil, or maybe, you go, well, I can't wait. I've been practicing retreat. I just can't wait to hang out in the bar. Or, something like that. Oh my God, did I really blow that? Okay? They're talking about a cesspool of activity that's kind of coats you for a while. I think this is great. I am one who has heard much. All right? I've heard a lot of Dharma. I've taken a lot of it in. If I do not overcome anger, frustration, resentment, I shall be forsaken like a physician who is afflicted with vomiting and diarrhea. Oh, great. Eh? It's almost 2,000 years old. Oh, great. I am esteemed by the world. That means a bhikkhu is respected by the world as someone very pure. But if I do not remove anger and resentment, I shall be cast away by the world like a painted vase containing filth and uncovered. Further, one reflects like this. This is a contemplation. When a wise man grows angry and resentful, he inflicts severe sufferings. So he will be poisoned out of the fear of terrible punishment. If a man who is bitten by a snake has the antidote and refrains from taking it, or for instance, you don't take the medicine that you've been given, you just refuse and get sicker and sicker. He is like one who seems to relish suffering and not happiness. In the same way, a bhikkhu who arouses anger and resentment and does not suppress these, that is, quench them quickly, is said to be one who relishes suffering and not happiness, because he accumulates more fearful karma than this anger and resentment. In other words, the more you entertain it, the more it builds. It lays patterns in your nervous system. How long does it take for anger, resentment, greed, jealousy, pride to lay down tracks in the nervous system? Okay, how long does it take to grow the dendrites on neurons? Doesn't take too long. So everything we do is physiological, and everything we do, just go into retreat deep enough to have the experience. Every single thing we do leaves a trace. Some things leave just a little bit of a trace. They're not so bad. But other things can leave long-lasting traces that will reoccur and reoccur unless they're purified out. This is the process of purification. So ask yourself a question. Do you relish unhappiness? Do you relish unpleasantness? Do you gravitate to actually being in poor states? Or do you actually relish good states and want to build a life and an environment, an ecosystem of good states, wise states, compassionate states? And again, one should reflect on anger and resentment thus. He who arouses anger and resentment will be laughed at by his enemies and cause his friends to be ashamed of him. Though he may have deep virtue, he will be slighted by others. If he was honored before, he will be despised hereafter. Aspiring after happiness, he will acquire misery. Outwardly calm, he will be inwardly perturbed. You know, you can meet people. I hope you've had this experience. You can meet people that look absolutely wonderful. Outwardly calm, can walk down a runway in model clothes, absolutely, but absolutely filled with anxiety or rage. Yeah, a good actor. Anybody ever encountered a true psychopath? Sociopath? Wow. Charming, lovely, bright, yeah? Empathetic. Wow, I feel just what you're feeling. Not a drop of feeling. And possibly a lot of anger, a lot of destructive energy. So hopefully you have that experience and you come out okay. So you can actually know that there are beings like that. Yeah. Having eyes, he will not see. Being intelligent, he will be ignorant. Thus, one should reflect on the disadvantages of anger and resentment. Yeah. This next section is really essential. So let's go on for a few minutes, and then we'll end tonight's session. Maybe have a short meditation, and finish in a bit, shortly. What is meant by one should reflect on the advantages of patience? Wow, that's clarity. Patience is power. Bala. The word in Pali is bala, power. Isn't that something? People with excellent patience, not driven by neuroticism, but just patience, just this feeling of, God, if it takes a year, fine. If it takes a month, fine. If it takes a week, fine. Let's just take it bit by bit. Yeah, not get so frustrated. That's extraordinary power. It moves mountains. The being, sometimes you read in science, 20 years unfolding a problem in science. Patience. And sometimes it doesn't even work. Patience. Patience in all manner of life, not just science, not just art. Can you work a painting over and over again? Do you also know when to stop? Editing videos? It's very patient. Editing transcripts? That's what I've been going for a whole year now. The last paragraph. Except we still find typos. Yeah. Golf? Patience. Relationships with beings? Patience. It's extraordinary. And it's great power. It's great power. Perseverance. Patience, perseverance, power. This is armor. Armor against what? The vicissitudes of dukkha. This protects the body well and removes anger and resentment. This is honor. It's an honorable being. A being that has real good, excellent, natural patience, not put on patience, is an honorable being. This is praised by the wise. This causes the happiness of not falling away. Isn't that great, eh? Sustained happiness, sustained good states, building that which is good. You know, the folks in this room are interdependent. All of you are in this room, including me, based on the good states of the members of Crystal Mountain and all the beings that have meditated here over the years. The people that set the retreats up, the experience, yeah. The patience, we're here because of the patience of yogis and yoginis that have spent 20, 30, 40, 50 years of their life unfolding the Dharma. That we're connected to that. That's an amazing patience. That's really something. We're also here because of the rezoning committee's patience. Those that are out there, rezoning patience. Amazing. The board members of Crystal Mountain, incredibly patient. Right? Year after year after year. Making this space and this place available to unfold the liberation of sentient beings. There's a few right in this room. Very patient. This is a guardian. This guards all. Patience. This helps one to understand the meaning of things well. If you're frustrated, you don't understand the meaning of things. But if you're patient, even if it takes months and months and months, you start to understand something. Like maybe starting to learn algebra at the age of 65 or 70. Yeah? Or calculus. Will take a lot of patience. If you've never really got the hang of calculus and algebra and so on, you'll need some patience. Trigonometry. Physical things, mental things, language, music, yeah. Awakening, patience. Yeah. You have to have a heart of love to do that. Yes.
How about when one is in a situation where one is being mistreated or taken advantage of, and being enforced to stay in the situation, and use patience as one of the ways of enforce. So why are you not more patient? Why do you want to change this? So patience just makes the situation more.
Yes, so that would be unwise patience. So the question is, so for instance, you're being unjustly accused or unjustly done to, whatever it is, and clearly that's the case. You still need a heart of loving kindness. You still need patience, but it doesn't necessarily mean you be unintelligent. It says, being intelligent, he will be. So you have to have intelligent loving kindness. And that's where we come to compassion. So loving kindness by itself may not be the unraveling of the suffering states, but you still need the patience. You still need the love of other beings. You can still help escort someone to to a prison. You can still help someone engage in a lawsuit, but you still need patience and you still need a love of all beings. It doesn't mean you don't take active action to end the suffering. Okay? Ending the suffering is compassion. Having a heart to care for beings is loving kindness. You still need that. Do you follow?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But it doesn't mean you're unwise or unintelligent. And it doesn't mean that also you allow yourself to be harmed. Okay. Just a few more minutes, and then let's have a little bit of a sit for a few minutes. No, that's a good place to come back to. We'll come back to that tomorrow. Tomorrow morning at 9:30, we'll continue in this section. It's too rich and too extraordinary body of teaching to quickly go through. You can read ahead and ask questions, and we'll come back to that tomorrow morning. Well, let's just sit actively bright with a heart of gladness, a heart of kindness, the wish that all beings are safe, free of danger, and a great wish that all beings enter into and have a continuum of happiness, good, excellent relative happiness, and be at ease. So, as we are at ease, so too shall all sentient beings be at ease. Good. Shahar, imagine, to perhaps give some guidance to your question, imagine that all one needed as a guidebook, a guideline, is increasingly superb natural generosity, increasingly superb ethics, increasingly superb energy, patience, and natural concentration and wisdom. And just imagine that that was the guidelines for every encounter. And an understanding of emptiness, relative emptiness of change and that all beings are actually going through the ringer, really confused, really having a hard time. Moments of happiness, moments of sadness. And all beings actually are bewildered and thinking they have a self, a really solid self that they have to tangle with and deal with. And then, of course, encountering and coming from a place of pristine, open, infinite compassion and wisdom that's just beyond measure. And if one came and had that for every encounter, even if it didn't go well, even if it didn't go right the way you want it, imagine what that would do for beings. Maybe later they'd say, yeah, he was a really kind of a jerk when I grew up, but kind of like what he did. I know a Dharma teacher who said that to me about somebody they knew. It's not this being, but said, yeah, it took me a long time to recognize her qualities. Patience. So, I like really elegantly straightforward guidelines instead of complicated lists of rules and prescriptions and things that can last centuries and centuries and the thousands of years of wisdom just simply can cross cultures. To me, the six parami cross cultures. Profound wisdom emptiness crosses cultures. Infinite compassion of understanding what is really happening with beings crosses all cultures. And it doesn't mean everybody likes it. It doesn't mean that your children or your friends or your partner actually likes it at the time. But at least you're doing the best you can based on that. Anyways, I like just a simple set of things. 5 precepts. It's good. 5 precepts, really good. It's really straightforward. Okay. With that, may we all be imbued with countless blessings of wisdom and compassion as a glorious gift for all sentient beings. May all sentient beings quickly realize their primordial wisdom, which is the infinite ground of compassion. Sarmangalam, Sarmangalam, Sarmangalam. Good night. May emptiness and compassion bite. There you go. Good night there, Zoomers, dear friends, all over the world and even close by. What a wonderful to be sharing with you this rich tradition of Dharma. So thank you very much. It's a real joy to see your digital images. Good night.
Thank you, Mark.
Yeah. I hope it's not too simple for you. Just
It's really simple.
he says really nothing to think about, you know. And please, I mean, I think are we offline now? No, we're on.
I can turn it off if you want.
No, they're on.
I shut off the video and then I turn it back on.
I mean this in a good way. It's a really difficult situation for beings. Have a heart of compassion. Your children, your partners, your friends, your family. It's really not so simple. It's complicated. It's difficult. It's bewildering. It's bewildering for us. It's bewildering for them. Every sentient being is in the same situation. The more you can awaken, the better you can do for beings. That's why I do what I do. Just help beings awaken. Let them sort it out. You know? Yeah. Bye.